What's up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel where we talk about money and mindset as well as my family's own journey to pay off six-figure debt. So if you like videos like that, then just keep watching and don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. I apologize in advance for the way I sound. I'm getting over a cold. I tried not to film until the cold went away, but I just couldn't do it. I needed to get some videos filmed. So today we're talking April budget. April's gonna be a little bit of a different month because we decided something kind of big on our budget for the next couple months. And I'm glad to talk to you guys about it because it is just like a real life thing that's going on, but it's also like I'm trying to not be disappointed that we're not able to keep up certain things. So anyway, I'll get into it. Let's just take a look at the budget. By the way, if you like my spreadsheet, it is available for purchase in my Etsy shop, so I will link it in the video description. It is an instant download to Google Sheets and it comes with a detailed video tutorial along with me every month showing you guys how I use it for our own family budget. All right, so here is our family budget for April. In April, we're expecting total income of $13,746. This is the gross budget, so the actual amount that we are paid before taxes or any other deductions come out. If you purchase the spreadsheet, you actually get the gross and net version. So if you like to budget with the money that actually hits your bank account, then you can do it that way. I just like doing the gross budget because I like to see all the paycheck deductions and everything we're contributing to like my husband's 401k and stuff like that. So anyway, this is the gross budget. $13,746 is what we are expecting for the month of April. Next, for taxes and insurance. So taxes, we are expecting $3,215 to come out in taxes from my husband's income and my income. Insurance, our health insurance is going up a little bit because my husband's open enrollment is March, and as of April 1st, the new health insurance plans start. So it did go up a little bit, not as much as I expected though. It only went up by about 20 bucks a month. So that was better than I was hoping for. So yeah, it is a slight increase, but not so bad. But one other thing that's changing is we are putting money into an FSA. So that is a flex spending account for health expenses, and that is something that is through my husband's employer as well. So they take $220 a month or $110 per paycheck out of his pay, and then that goes into an account for us to use towards medical expenses throughout the year. We used to contribute to an HSA, which is something you can do separate from an employer, and that money you can keep and it just rolls over and you can invest it and stuff like that, and that's a great account. But because of the change in health insurance plans at my husband's work, we're no longer eligible for an HSA because that's very specific requirements for the type of health insurance plan you can use it with. And so we switched over now to the FSA, and we'll be using that for healthcare expenses, which we expect to have some because I'm having a baby in a few months. I'm due early July, but it may be as soon as late June, just depending on how things go. So it's coming up quick, and so I'm definitely glad we are doing the FSA so we know we have money that's pre-tax, we don't get taxed on that money, and we can use it for medical expenses this year. So total for taxes and insurance and all these paycheck deductions for the month is $3,857. All right, next for pay yourself first, which is investing for retirement for us. We've got two things here, my husband's 401k and my brokerage account. So for my husband's 401k, this is the big change. We have been putting $788 per paycheck, which would max out his 401k at $20,500 for the year. It would be just under $20,500 if we did $788 per paycheck. We did that for January, February, and March. And in April, May, and June, what I'm predicting, April, May, and June. It may not be all those months, but probably April, May, and June. We are going to go down to just the employer match. So if my husband puts in $300 per paycheck, then he will max out the amount that his employer will match for his 401k. And so we are reducing our amount that we're putting towards retirement to pay for some expenses because there are just big expenses coming up, and with inflation, things are just more expensive than we had predicted, and just you have to make these adjustments in life, and it's okay. So I'm glad we can still get the employer match. I'm really adamant that we make that happen. And so we are putting $600 this month, which is $300 per paycheck, to get that employer match. In addition to that, we are planning to put an extra $200 into my brokerage accounts, which is also investing for retirement. For brokerage, the main account I invest in is M1 Finance, and right now through the end of March, so just a couple more days, they're doing a promotion where if you sign up using my link, you guys get $50 and I also get $50. So if you want to take advantage of that deal the last few days that it is going on, then I'll put that link in the video description so you can get started investing and invest along with me in M1 Finance. Last month I had like, I think 7 referrals, so I got like $350 from you guys signing up for accounts, and January was even more. It was crazy. So thank you guys so much for using my link. I so appreciate it, and I'm glad you guys got your $50 and that you're investing along with me. Okay. Part of the reason we can't invest as much as we'd like to is because our debt payments are so large. So let's take a look at our debt. We've got my husband's student loan, which has a minimum payment of $830, my student loan, which has a minimum payment of $1,882, and then extra debt payments this month we're planning to make is $101, and that's just how much we can afford based on this expensive month's budget. So total, we are planning to put $2,813 towards debt payments. All right, next, let's scoot over to the fixed expenses. So this month we have pretty much kept these the same. There's a couple like slight changes. Our condo fee is always $201. Our mortgage, we always pay $1,880, which is just our mortgage payment. I think it's like actually $1,878, and I just round it up to the next even number. Life insurance for me and my husband total is $250. Internet is $106. Our home security system went up by $3, but our car insurance went down by $3, so that was a wash. We pay $10 a month for subscriptions, which is Spotify that we use. And then for miscellaneous, we're just doing $25. So it used to be at $100, then we bumped it down to $50, now we're down to $25, and we have such small miscellaneous expenses because we have so many sinking funds to cover everything and anything. What's the phrase? Anything and everything under the sun. Anyway, we have a lot of sinking funds, so that's why we don't have a lot of miscellaneous expenses. All right, finally, and the sinking funds, which is the most interesting part of this budget. So emergency fund, we're not putting anything more in the emergency fund this month. Groceries, we usually put $250 a week. Last month, which is technically the end of this month because I'm filming this in March, we went over because it's just expensive out there. Like, honestly, we got takeout one time and it was Chipotle for like $25. Like, it's just expensive. We needed to refill a bunch of like just home items, toilet paper, paper towels, like cleaners and stuff like that. It was just an expensive month, and we had barely any food waste at all. So yeah, I'm putting an extra $100 in this month because I just don't want this account to be negative, and I'm just trying to be realistic with what our family's needs are. And that's the whole point of budgeting, is so you can be realistic with what your needs are and budget that money and then spend it without feeling guilty. Next, for vacation fund, we're not putting anything. We're actually taking a vacation in April, but we have enough money set aside already for that vacation, so $0 for the vacation fund for the month of April. Next, my husband and I each get $200 a month for spending money, and then my daughter is getting $450 this month. Usually she gets $150, but we're putting an extra $300 in there because her cord blood banking fee, her annual fee that we pay for her, because we did cord blood banking when she was born, that is coming due in April because she was born in May, so it comes out. Anyway, so we know that's coming and we are budgeting for it, $300. I believe it's like $285 or something around there. Next, for baby number 2, I am due in July, so we've been putting $100 a month aside for baby number 2's expenses, and that should get us to be able to afford all like the basics that we need, nothing like too extravagant, but all of like the basics that we need for baby. Now with a second baby, we have so much stuff already, plus we know what stuff we actually used last time and what stuff was kind of a waste of money, so we're able to do it on a much better budget, and just we are on a debt-free journey now. Like, life is totally different. My perspective on spending is totally different. And last time with my daughter, everything went on a credit card, and this time everything's being paid for in cash. So I love having this sinking fund. Next, for kids' activities, we are putting $250 aside. Usually it's only $100, but I do want to get zoo passes, and the zoo opens in April here. And I'm really excited to be able to do that activity with my daughter, you know, do a fun thing with her outdoors in the summertime. And she loves animals, and I know she's gonna love it this year. She's just about 3, and so it's gonna be really fun to go to the zoo with her this year. And this is part of the reason why we cut back on our retirement contributions, because we knew we were behind on groceries, so we needed an extra $100 for groceries, and we knew it was an expensive month for my daughter's expenses because of the cord blood banking. We wanted more money for kids' activities, and there's a couple other things that I'll show you in our sinking funds. And it just didn't feel good to push our budget to the max anymore. We had been pushing really, really hard the first 3 months of the year to just stay within a budget that was like a little too tight for what we needed. And now that I'm gonna be in my 3rd trimester and just everything is getting so expensive, it just didn't feel realistic to push it that hard. And I hope to bump our retirement contributions back up to my husband's 401k to max it out. We still have a plan to max out this year. I should have mentioned that before. But we're just waiting to see what happens for the second half of the year because we have some like income opportunities, as I've mentioned before, if you watch my videos, that could pan out the second half of the year for both me and my husband. So yeah, we are keeping our fingers crossed and working really hard towards making those things happen. But for this month and the next couple months, we want to be realistic and do our best that we can, but sometimes the best you can is not quite what you hope it to be, and that's okay as long as we're still making progress. All right, speaking of inflation, my cat Miles, we always put $150 aside. It's just not enough. It should probably be $250 or more. His food, he eats prescription food. He has to have prescription food, and it went up by, I can't even tell you how much it went up. It's ridiculous. Like, so yeah, I just need to up the sinking fund to 200. It might need to be higher, but we got to take care of our cat and get him the food he needs to stay healthy. It's just something that's important to us. Next, for gas, I put $150 for this month. Again, gas is expensive. I do use an app called Get Upside to fill up that saves me usually about like 25 cents per gallon every time I fill up. I will link it below if you guys want to check it out. I've been using it for quite a long time now, and I really, really like it. If you use my link and the promo code that I have in the description, you'll get an extra 20 cents off per gallon next time you fill up. So yeah, like I said, I'll link that below if you want to check it out. But gas is just expensive, and again, I need to be realistic on how much we're spending, and like, we're not gonna not go the places we need to go because gas is too expensive. Like, we just need to adjust our budget to make it fit. And so I'm bumping this up to $150 this month when we usually put $100. Gifts, we always put $100, and I'm keeping it at that. We know a few people who are having babies, and so we are wanting to get gifts for them, and so that will come out of this fund. Next, for home decor, I am putting nothing this month because there's not really any home decor that we need. And again, we're just trying to be tight with our budget, but you know, spend where we need to, and I just don't feel like we need any money for home decor this month. Car maintenance is getting $50 this month, and house maintenance is getting $350. We did have some house repairs in March that fund is gonna be negative, and so we need to catch it up. And in May, we've got some big expenses. I believe our property insurance comes out in May. I have to double check, but that was in my notes from last year. So yeah, that's a big bill, and we just, again, these big expenses are coming up. I've been underfunding some of these sinking funds for the sake of putting more towards investing in debt payoff, and so I knew we'd have to pull back at some point unless we could really up our income. And yeah, so it's just not happening. So we need to pay these bills, and I don't want these sinking funds to go negative. That's the other thing. I could keep all of our investing the same and have these sinking funds go more and more negative, but as they go negative, they're technically like kind of eating into our emergency fund, and I'm just not willing to do that at this point. So especially with like a baby on the way and my income being so variable, doing YouTube full time, it just doesn't feel like a smart decision. So again, this is why we're doing this, so our sinking funds cannot be negative and we are not eating into our emergency fund. Next, cell phone, $150. We always keep it at that, and that's been working. Our cell phone bill has not gone up. Town, sewer, and water, $85. That's actually probably a little overfunded, but I'm just keeping it $85 because that amount's been working. Utilities, usually we do $300 a month. I'm bumping it up to $400. Utilities have gone up so much. Last month it was almost $600 for our utilities. It's a lot. So this fund, it really probably should be like $500 this month, but I'm just putting it at $400. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully the spring will come early and it won't be so cold in April. Those bills will be lower and that will get us through. And then finally, $100 towards Christmas/RAB Day fund. That's my daughter. So her birthday's in May, so we're definitely putting money aside every single month that we can towards that fund so we have enough for her birthday when it comes in May, which I'm really looking forward to. So total sinking funds this month is $3,885. All right, finally scrolling down to the summary so you can see where our money is going this month. So for taxes and insurance, which includes our FSA as well now, That is 28% of our money this month. Next, pay yourself first. I really like to see this at 15% because we're trying to put 15% of our income towards retirement this year, and it's only at 5.8% this month, and that's what's gonna happen when we pull way back on our retirement contributions. So again, we'll have to make up for it later in the year. Hopefully it will be more like 20% for the rest of the year, the second half of the year. But yeah, for right now, 5.8%, at least it's something. Next, for debt, we are putting 20.5% of our budgeted money towards debt. So that is a huge chunk of money. Every time I see that, I've talked about this before, I can't help but think what a raise we'll get once our debt is paid off. And it's a few years away, but 20% of our money, over 20% of our gross pay is going towards debt at this point. And that's not including our mortgage. This is just our student loan payments. Fixed expenses is getting 17.4%, and then an unusually large amount of our money is going towards sinking funds because we did bump up several of our sinking funds to pay for some bigger expenses like I talked about and make sure these funds aren't going negative. And so 28.3% of our money is going towards sinking funds. You can see up here, left to budget is 0, and that's because we have allocated all of this $13,746 to a line item in our budget to make sure that we are accounting for every single dollar in our zero-based budget. So that is it for this April budget with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it comforting if you're going through some of the similar stuff that we are, that like, you know, stuff is expensive right now. And so sometimes you have to pull back on certain goals to make sure you are meeting your basic necessities and you're not doing anything wrong when that happens. You are just working with the circumstances in life that are happening and are not in your control. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this realistic adjustment we've had to make to our budget. And like I said, if you like that budget spreadsheet that I showed you for our own budget, you can get it for yourself. It's in my Etsy shop, which is linked below. It also comes in a bundle with a debt payoff tracking spreadsheet and a annual financial goal tracking spreadsheet. If you like tracking all of those things and you're trying to pay off debt like us, if you get the bundle, you get a discount on all the spreadsheets by buying them as a bundle. So I'll link that below as well. As always, if you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up. It really helps on my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, then hit that red subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye!